Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Angry TV with me, Angry Britain, off the Twitter, which is here or here. I will get used to it, I promise, at some point. So today, I want to talk generally about G-Shocks. It's not an unboxing, it's not a specific model I want to talk about. What I want to talk about today is the value of them, okay? And whether they can really be worth £2 upwards. So I got into a, shall we say, a debate the other night about the price of G-Shocks and what they might be worth to people and what I think they're worth personally, and it got a little bit heated, but it was fine and we all made up in the end and we had a big group hug and that was fine. But I thought I'd make a quick video just to find out what you guys think about what a G-Shock is really worth, or what it could be worth, or what value for money looks like. So let's think about kind of like, let's start at the bottom. So something like this. Okay, this is a fairly standard G-Shock that costs 100 quid. Okay, now this is the kind of G-Shock that we're all used to. Cheap, cheerful, made of plastic, just, you know, standard G-Shock fare. And this is what most people think of when they think of G-Shocks. Just cheap plastic watches that are fairly bulletproof. Okay, and I think when you get into G-Shocks, this is the sort of thing that you start collecting. And your love for them grows and you appreciate what they are, and then you start looking up the range. Now, I remember the first time that I saw a £300 G-Shock and thought, get over yourself, that's ridiculous, that's absolutely stupid, who would pay that for a G-Shock? And I don't think I'm alone in that, because when you jump up from 100 quid to 300 quid, it's a big jump, and it opens up a whole world of other watches. So you kind of get into G-Shocks and what they're all about, and then you go, well, actually a £300 G-Shock is probably better, it's better built, better materials, and then you start looking at things like the GSTs, the G-Steel versions. Okay, now this is one that I've had for absolutely ages. I paid about £350 for it, I think, retails at £400, but it's a much more substantial watch. It's metal, it feels better, it's heavier, it's got Bluetooth technology on it, and it's just a bit nicer, it's a bit smarter, and you kind of go, yeah, okay, put that on, looks good, looks decent on. People think, you know, it's not a cheap plastic G-Shock, it's something that looks a bit better, a bit nicer, a bit more, you know, a bit more posh. And I've done a video about G-Steels, this one in particular, so check that out. And I actually said, having had one of these and the carbon MTG B1000 XBD showing off, that I actually thought this was better value for money, because fundamentally it is a top quality G-Shock, built to last, made of nice materials, and I didn't think at the time that the 1100 quid that the XBD was really worth 3 times that. And that was my conclusion. So, you know, again, this is my opinion, okay? I don't mind if you don't agree with me and you want to slag me off in the comments. I don't care. But I'm quite into watches, as I'm sure most of you are watching this, because otherwise why would you bother? But I think there comes a point with a G-Shock where the value for money proposition starts to go away. Now, I think it starts to happen when you go upwards of 500 and end up with things like the Frogman. Now, I wanted one of these desperately, and I tracked one down and I found it, and I like it and I wear it quite a bit, but I don't honestly know, okay, that it's twice as good as one of these. It feels a bit more substantial, and obviously it's a proper dive watch and it's built to do dive things and stuff that this will realistically never do for 99% of the people that own it. But it's twice the price, and I don't know that it justifies twice the price. Okay, these are obviously quite rare, there's not many of them about, and there never are, so they hold their value, and again, it's got the Bluetooth, but fundamentally the functions are the same. Okay, and other than the fact this is built for diving, is it really worth twice the price of a G-Steel and 8 times the price of one of these? I'm not sure. Okay, so you get your Frogman, you start off with your cheap one, and then you get your G Steel, and then you go up to a Frogman, and you're in the £800-900 G-Shocks. And that's a lot of money. Just go and look at any other brand, at what you can get for 800-900 quid. You're starting to see some quite serious watches, you know, things like Oris, which, alright, it's not a Rolex, but it's still a pretty decent Swiss watch, mechanical watch. Makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, not built to last, bulletproof like this, but still, divers watches. There's some lovely stuff by Oris for around this money. Is that really worth it? So then you get really into your G-Shocks and you go, whoa, what else is there that I can buy? And then you start looking at the £1,000 models, like this one, my Rainbow, which it will focus on. There you go, it's focused now. So for me, £1,000 is a lot of money. Okay, it's a lot of money for anyone, particularly for a watch. Okay, and it's a G-Shock. Yes, it's a limited edition G-Shock. It's a bit fancy because it's got carbon fibre bits of glass and all of that in it, and it's limited edition. But it's still a lot of dough, and it's fundamentally still a quartz watch. Okay, it's no getting away from that. It doesn't matter how you dress it up. It's a quartz watch. It's fundamentally no better than that, but it's 10 times the price. Okay, now, I mean, this thing's great. It's £1,000, and I've worn it twice since I had it because I'm kind of scared of damaging it, which kind of defeats the object of having a G-Shock really, because they're built to be smashed about. But you get to £1,000, and then you need to, I think, you need to kind of be thinking about what you're doing with your money. Okay, because over £1,000, we are talking about some serious watches. Things like Tag Heuers are starting to come into view and that kind of thing. So there are, as you probably know from watching this, there are 2 new MRGs coming. Okay, and they are absolutely lovely. Okay, titanium, black, red, gold, and I think there's an all black version, or a silver and black version, and they're absolutely lovely. I think they're the B2000s or something. I'll put the model number down here because I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Okay, and they're lovely. And this is what started this debate the other night. Okay, I put a post up basically saying that the new B2000s are absolutely gorgeous, but they're £2,500. Okay, someone's texting. Someone likes this video already. £2,500. Okay, so we are now talking proper watch money. Okay, and there is no getting away from that. It doesn't matter how into your G-Shocks you are, how much of a fan you are, how much you appreciate their toughness. When we talk about £2,500 for a watch, we are then talking Tag Heuer, Breitling, Tudor money. Okay, and they are serious watches. Okay, proper mechanical Swiss, hand built, the whole thing. Or a quartz watch from Japan, again hand assembled on their Yamagata line. So I just personally don't get it. Okay, you would have to be the world's biggest G-Shock fan, I think, to go out and spend £2,500. For me, £1,000 is my limit. Now, oddly, you also know that G-Shock do super limited edition MRGs that are kind of like 5, 6, 7 grand. Now, weirdly, I kind of understand that more than the mid-price £2,500 stuff, because they are super limited and they're super featured, and they have, you know, they're like hand built by samurais in ancient China. So I kind of get that. I kind of get the craftsmanship that's involved in it. I get why they're so special and why they cost that money. Now, I would never in a million years spend £6,500 on a G-Shock. I just wouldn't. Okay, because we are then talking Submariner Explorer 2 money, and it's a no-brainer. Your £6,000 G-Shock will be worth £4,000 if you're lucky, and if you can find a buyer. So it's a purchase you would make without thinking about it and without thinking about the resale value. Now, for me, if I'm investing in something like a mechanical watch, I want it to hold its value, and if the shit hits the fan, I want to be able to palm it off for what I paid or more. Okay, and this is what I just don't understand. Okay, I just don't get it. So the £6,000 stuff I kind of get, but it's a one-off purchase. You're going to write it off. You'll be super, super, super lucky to find someone who'll give you what you paid for a £6,000 G-Shock. Okay, for a £2,500 G-Shock, you'd be lucky to get 1,500 quid back. So I just don't understand. I don't get that mentality. For me, 1,000 quid for a G-Shock is my absolute top limit, and even that is pushing it when a GST is arguably no worse. Okay, the fact this is made on a production line, this is made by hand, does it really warrant 3 times the cost? I don't think so. So, you know, I love G-Shocks, I really do, it's my thing, but there comes a point at which I would just buy something a lot more prestigious. Okay, we go from here to a Black Bay or a Black Bay GMT, or we just hang on a bit and buy something like a Speedmaster, or if I wanted to spend 6, 7, 8 grand on a watch, I'd buy a Submariner. That's it. Okay, Explorer 2, Submariner, something like that, and then it's a watch that I can enjoy forever. It's never going to lose its money, it's never going to lose its value, and I can always get rid of it if I need to. And you just never know. If the last 2 years haven't taught you anything, you have to be prepared for surprises. And to have a collection full of 2.5 grand G-Shocks that are worth 1,500 quid in an emergency, 1,000 quid if you can find a buyer for them, because let's be honest, lots of people think like us. £1,500 for a G-Shock? I don't think so. Idiot. So anyway, these are my thoughts. I'm sure this is going to cause much debate among the G-Shock community, and I really want to know what you think. I mean, what is your limit when you're buying a G-Shock? Are you the 100 quid club? And I've got to be honest, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you for spending 100 quid tops, because they're cheap plastic watches. Okay, are you a 400? Are you a 800 for the right watch? Or are you like me? Are you you're quite happy to spend £1,000 on the right G-Shock for a limited edition one that you can hang on to and it's not a big deal? I mean, as I said, these are my opinions, okay? And I know it started a massive debate the other night, and it probably got a little bit out of hand, which was a bit silly. But this is the internet. People have different opinions, and that's okay. So I really want to know what your opinion is of this video. Where do you draw the line at G-Shocks? Are you happy to spend 2.5 grand to 6 grand for one? Why? Tell me why in the comments. I'd love to know. So let's have a look, see how this video goes, and what I might do is, if it goes mad, is I will do a little follow-up. So anyway, thanks very much for watching this video. As I said, these are purely my thoughts. Feel free to disagree. I don't mind if you've got a different opinion to me. If you think I'm talking out of my arse and you would love to spend 6.5 grand on a G-Shock, then please tell me why in the comments. I would love to know, because I think I'm missing something somewhere, possibly. I don't know. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to keep subscribing, keep liking, keep telling your friends about the channel. It's growing brilliantly. And yeah, I'm really enjoying doing these videos for you. So yes, I will see you for another video soon.